The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Cowboys Storylines with Nick Eatman.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Cowboys Storyline. I'm Nick Eatman here, and we are ready for another 30 minutes of Cowboys talk. That's what we do around here. All right, I want to hear from you guys. Like always, got the phone lines open. I kind of hear some calling going on in the background back there. I think we're already getting ready to get going here. 1-888-855-2297. That is the phone line. I want to hear from you. Text line is 817-290-3298. Send those text messages. We've already got a lot of those as well. We're going to get through the storylines here, and it's cut day. It's cut 2 days, really. It used to just be one big cut day, but after that, I mean, now, you got the waiver wire, you've got claims that are going to be made. It's 2:00 if you're watching this on demand. I'll just tell you right now, it's 2:00 Dallas time. 3:00 is the deadline for when they're going to hear about their claims, maybe that they put in for other teams, or if other teams have claimed some players, and so a little bit more roster manipulation than in the past, and you'll see some of that. I don't think just because you've made the team now doesn't mean you're going to be on it, tomorrow or even later today. And just because you're on the practice squad now, which will get official here in a little while, but probably after this show naturally is off the air, the practice squad will be official. But we got some names of who we anticipate will be on it and guys that won't be. And I'll just tell you right now, the practice squad is going to look different. You're going to have some guys playing in the game against the Giants that are currently on the practice squad, like a long snapper, Trent Sieg, or maybe even a C.J. Goodwin. That's just kind of the way that they have to make these things work. And most of the fans kind of know, you guys know that by now on how we're doing things and how the Cowboys kind of, I wouldn't say manipulate the rules, but you have to kind of bend them a little bit to make this thing work, and every team in the league does it, and so that's why it kind of creates some chaotic times here for these 24 hours to 48 hours with the roster just still trying to figure it out. We're gonna have a story on the website on Friday of here's what the roster looks like now, position by position. And I say it Friday because that's when all the dust will probably settle, and you'll really get a good idea of what this thing looks like, especially the bottom end and the practice squad. But practice squad's bigger than it ever has been because you can move these guys up two guys from the practice squad, elevate them up to the roster. You can only do it 3 times per player, but you can do it every week. So the practice squad is more meaningful, I think, now than it ever has been. So, all right, I want to hear from you guys. We didn't get any calls to the last show. We got a guy on the line now, I believe Travis from San Antonio. So I'm going to hit the calls right away. Travis, are you there?
I am.
What's up?
How's it going, Nick?
I'm good, man.
Congrats,
How are you?
Congrats on the new show.
Thank you.
I'm good. Just a quick comment and question, or kind of want to get your thoughts on something. I think everyone needs to. I'm a Michigan fan, so I think everyone needs to relax on Mozzie. I've been hearing all the stuff and seeing everything. He's working with Micah with his hands. If he develops his hands, the bigger jump from, I think, the second half of the year to the off season is going to be where you're going to see him jump. I think he's going to be just fine, so everyone needs to relax on that. But I did want to get your thoughts on adding Gilmore to this team. I think is big because I think it's going to allow Dan Quinn to do more things on defense than he even does now. And I noticed, with the whole walking Van Der Esch up to rush off the edge, my thought is that they're going to do that so they can pick and choose when they do that throughout a game. Either send Micah and drop LVE back, or send LVE and drop Micah back. And then when it comes to critical situations, you can identify who the Mike is, and you can send either one. So I just want to get your thoughts on that, and have a great show.
Thank you so much. And I have made a comment on that before, maybe not to the point about identifying the middle linebacker. So that is a good point right there. But you're right about the fact of, is it Micah? Because that's what every quarterback has to do on every snap. And that's why you've got a great player, is because when they're out here looking at what your guy is, then you're helping dictate what's going to happen. Because a lot of the offenses and those arrogant offensive coordinators, because they all are, they think, no, we do what we do, and you try to stop it. which is cool most of the time. But when you have a Micah Parsons sitting out there, you'd be foolish to do it that way. You have to find out where he is on every snap. And to your point, you got him rushing at times. Now you've got Leighton coming in. They'll move it around. Now, the Cowboys are going to be a better defense if Micah's rushing the passer more than he's not. I think that's fair to say. But at times when you can be a decoy here and there. I mean, I think Jordan took every game-winning shot, but I mean, every once in a while, maybe when he was doubled, he could pass it off. But you got to have a Pippen. Is Leighton going to be that guy? And I think he can. We saw some pretty good things of him rushing off the edge. Going back to your Mozzie Smith comment, and I had a text line question too from Jason from Pennsylvania about him being an upgrade over Bohanna. Is it just because he's a first-round pick? I think he is. I think the upside is there. Bohanna, I think, is what he is, a bigger guy, of course. But to your point, Travis, about the hands and strength is strength. And you've got to be able to play with leverage. You've got to be able to understand how to play and use that strength. But I think he will continue to do that. And I think he's going to get better and better because strength travels each week. When you're strong as an Ox, Jonathan Hankins says Mozzie's the strongest player he's ever played next to. And he's been in the league now 10 years. He played with a guy named Snacks, over with the Giants. And he's a pretty strong guy himself, Hankins is. But for him to say that. So he's getting some good coaching. He's got the strength. He's got the tools, and also give the Cowboys some credit too. They draft well in the first round. Now you can say what you want about Taco Charlton. That's it. Unless you want to go to a different decade from now. Morris Claiborne way back 11 years ago. They draft well in the first round. They always have. Their guys make the Pro Bowl or the All-Pro or both. Taco was not a good pick late in the first round. Everyone knows that. Morris Claiborne turned out to not be a good pick. But for the most part, they do well. So let's give them credit. I mean, Mozzie's not going to come out of the gate. Byron Jones didn't either, but he developed into a pretty good player. So, all right, let's go back to another phone call. What do we got? Barack, Jacksonville, Florida. What's up, man?
Hey, man. Just wanted to say, first off, congrats on the new show.
Thank you.
Decided to kick it old school with the question. I was doing some moving here, was going through some boxes, came across the classic of If These Walls Could Talk. First question is, do you think we'll ever get a volume 2 to that? And the second question is, two guys that you've covered, if you could pick one guy from offense and one guy on defense that you put on the team right now that you think would make us an absolute Super Bowl lock. Appreciate you, man. Take it easy.
Thank you. Love that call. Oh, If These Walls Could Talk Part 2. Maybe. I mean, they've been silent for a little bit. Maybe they need to start chatting it up again. I'll say that, and I've had the fortune, and this isn't me like boasting or anything, but I mean I've written 4 books. That one by far is the one that people love the most and still buy it. And I still get a little check every now and again, once every summer. And so, yeah, that one, that was a fun book to write. And just me, it was a collection of stories that I've been there. And I remember thinking it was 15 years I've been working for the Cowboys, so I used a lot of stories. So now it's been 24 years. So there's probably some more that I could throw out there. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say no to that. There's a couple of ideas floating around, but nothing crazy. 2 guys that could help the team right now that I've covered. I mean, that's always a tricky question. I mean, is their body the same now? I mean, are they limping around, or just somebody that played back in the day? And I mean, you could always look at players that look at positions of some need. And when I get asked about any former player that I've covered, it always starts with Darren Woodson for me. I'm sorry. It's just that I'm guilty, I guess. That's why he's got a big picture in my office hanging there, because he's my favorite player. I think he could play in any era. I think he understands the game. He's one of the smartest players, one of the smartest people I've ever met. He's driven to the point where he's not gonna fail. He's just not. And so you put him at linebacker, you can put him at safety, you could put him at slot corner, you could probably put him at corner, you could play all the special teams. I mean, Darren Woodson could do it all, and Bill Parcells, I think, has a great quote. He's like, I had him for 1 year. He goes, if I would have had him my whole career, there's no doubt he would be in Canton already, and I think that's where he deserves to be. So that's a guy right there. Any other guy that could make him a lock, how about another running back? Another guy. Zeke in his time in his early career or a back like that, or a Marion Barber type of guy, just a big bruising type back that just can change the game and really complement the other running back that you have. So, but those are just two positions that I could come up with. That was a good question. I wish I had a little bit more time for that because I would have had a better answer. But to me, if you're saying former player, I always start with Darren Woodson because he checks all the boxes for me. Great player, better person. All right, let's go back to the phone line. Joe from Stanford, my guy. What's up, man?
What's up, brother? How are you today?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. Lots of excitement. So, couple things. First, I'm really excited about Hunter Lipke. I think he's going to be able to play more than just a fullback position, sort of H-back, maybe a little tight end, sort of move him around. I think he's going to really give us a different facet of our offense, so I'm super excited about that.
Okay.
The other thing I'm wondering about is whether you've heard anything. Have we gotten any of these center guys back? Have they signed somewhere yet? Obviously, we haven't done our practice squad yet, but are we going to get Farniak or one of these guys back to back up our center?
That is a good question. That's a really good question. And, Joe, I appreciate the call. Thank you so much. Backup center is a question mark right now. There's no doubt about it. Brock Hoffman is probably going to be on the practice squad, and then he could be a guy that they move up on game day. But I think you only elevate two guys, and as it stands right now, I see a long snapper – and I see C.J. Goodwin that could be on the practice squad as well. So they're going to have to make some moves here. Don't rule out this one, that your backup snapper, your backup center for the game is Zach Martin. Yeah, that could happen, and that very well could be the case. And the reason why I have that face is because he's never done it. Now, Zach Martin could probably punt, and he would be a decent at it because he's great. But that is a possibility. I think that's being discussed. I don't know if that's something that they're going to do all the time, but it could be the case if they get down to it in a game. My guess is that they'll probably have a different guy. Farniak, no, I don't see him in the plans at the moment right now. So, all right. Again, like I said, we'll take a break here. When we do, we'll come back. We'll talk a little bit more about the practice squad. We're getting closer and closer to making that official, and we'd like to get more phone calls and text messages from you. We'll be right back on Cowboys Storyline.
Fall is here, and that means football is back, bringing all the delicious game day foods with it. As you prep for all the big games, tailgates, and watch parties, let Yo Quiero be your one-stop destination for all things home gating. Yo Quiero's fresh, flavorful, ready-to-serve guacamole, made with real Hass avocados, will score taste bud touchdowns as you cheer on the Cowboys. Yo Quiero's wide range of mouth-watering and versatile products can be found in your local grocery store's produce or deli section. Grab some today.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
SeatGeek has your back no matter what kind of Cowboys fan you are. So whether you're a diehard fan or a don't really care fan, a we got 'em next time fan or we'll never win again fan, a here for the tailgate fan or a first one through the gates fan, SeatGeek not only makes buying and selling tickets easier than ever before, they made just about everything else easier too. So whether you're a here every week fan or haven't been here in years fan, SeatGeek has you covered. Download the SeatGeek app today. SeatGeek, your ticket to great Dallas Cowboys seats.
How's Wingstop sound? Crispy, juicy, classic wings. Made to order, cooked to perfection. And sauced and tossed in those 11 soul-satisfying flavors. Paired with hand-cut seasoned fries, house-made honey mustard, blue cheese, or signature Wingstop ranch. And, of course, spicy Cajun fried corn. I think you've heard enough. Get your flavor delivered at wingstop.com.
Welcome back here, second segment of Cowboys Storyline. I'm Nick Eatman, and we are talking about the roster, talking about everything Cowboys related here as we get closer and closer to week one of the season. A couple of things of note here. Again, the at 3 o'clock, which is about 40 minutes from now, that's when we'll hear a little bit more about the official practice squad. The Cowboys are adding some players to it from other teams, and one of the guys that's being reported is a center from the Giants, Sean Harlow, that was had a chance to go to the Giants practice squad, came to the Cowboys practice squad, and you know, a lot of times practice squad to practice squad. Now, the money can be different. You can pay people what you want from the practice squad. It's still got to fit under the salary cap, but there's been times where you can kind of give them more money. But, you know, it comes down to opportunity. I mean, the Cowboys wanted Will Grier, but he was going to be the fourth quarterback here. And I know he signed with Cincinnati, and, you know, you can be on their practice squad. But it's also, like we talked about before, opportunity on game day. There's some guys that have a chance to move up during the week, elevated at the end of the week. That probably wouldn't have been the case here in Dallas, but maybe a better opportunity for him. Same with the center, Harlow. Looks at the, you know, no backup spot here for the Cowboys. Could be a good opportunity for him to move up. All right, let's go. And another thing, Dennis Houston, wide receiver, same situation. Could have gone here in Dallas. It looks like he's going to the Giants practice squad there. All right, let's go back to the phone line. Gary from New Mexico. Gary, what's up?
Hey, Nick, how you doing?
I'm great, man. How are you?
I'm good. First off, I think you're the only person on the planet that could challenge me in my historical knowledge of the Dallas Cowboys.
Let's do it, man. What do you
got?
So
one of these days, you throw anything at me, man, and just see if I can answer. But
all right,
more serious,
here's the thing, Gary.
Okay.
Next time you call, which we got a show Friday. I don't know, Friday at 11. I don't know if you can make there.
I'll try.
Next time you call, you throw a trivia question at me, I'll throw one at you, and then we'll see what happens. And because I'm a little worried now. I mean, if you're going to throw it out there, I'll give one out. And you know, that's actually something I've thought of. You know, maybe not during the season, during you know, these Mondays when the season gets cranking up, but yeah, like having some trivia questions back and forth, or just name a random player, just any random guy.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love the random thing. I enjoy listening to you when you talk about that.
Yeah.
But on the Hunter Lipke thing, do you think that there's a possibility that they've been kind of holding some stuff back, and we may see a little more of Hunter Lipke in a fullback role blocking for Tony Pollard when the season starts? That's
a good question. I appreciate the call, and also reminds me I didn't answer the Lipke part from Joe and the previous caller. So yeah, let's talk about Hunter Lipke a little bit. Probably, I mean, everything you do at this point is a little bit vanilla, so you're not using a lot of fullback. You don't put a lot of fullback on tape. So sure, I mean, I'd like to see if he's going to do that. I think they wanted to see if he could be a running back as well, and what he does there. I thought he made the team with one play the other night. I thought he caught a pass out of the backfield, slipped a defender, and trucked another guy at the end and had a nice play. And I thought, right then, if he's going to make the team, it's going to be because of that. Because you're showing an ability, awareness to catch it out of the backfield, the hands to catch it, the elusiveness to get by a guy, the power to run over someone, just the playmaking ability there. And so he did make the team. And now with McEwen not on the team, that kind of, he's like the fourth tight end type guy. So he's also got to play some special teams. They're short on linebackers. Linebackers are heavy on the special teams units. He's got the frame of a linebacker. So there's a lot of possibilities there. I don't think, like you said, like the caller just said, I don't think that we've seen all that we're going to see from him in that position. So exciting time for him, for Hunter Lipke and making the team. All right, let's go back. Phone line again. Jose in San Antonio, what's up?
Hey, Nick, how you doing? I love your show, man.
Thank you.
Say that.
Appreciate it, man.
Hey, no problem, man. My real quick question is, my only concern with this team is the O-line depth. I want to hear your thoughts on that, and if you think if the Cowboys possibly go after any O-line free agents. And that's all I got, man. Thanks a lot, and good luck on your show, man.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. We need the callers. You guys are bringing it today, man. This is great. Putting my guy Chris Beam to work back there, but yeah, he's happy to do it as well. I agree. O-line depth. That's where I see issues because you're going to need it. let's just be honest. You're going to need the O-line depth. That's just kind of where things are. You've got a guy coming back from knee injury and Terrence Steele, and hopefully he'll be great. Tyler Biotis has been banged up some at the end of last year. Tyron Smith is Tyron Smith, and Zach Martin. He's getting older as well. Now he's pretty reliable, but I'm just saying things happen, and from 6 to 9, 6 to 10, and on the O-line depth, it's a lot of question marks. You don't know who your backup center is going to be. The swing tackle, is it Let's-Go? He hasn't played any, and neither is Awesome Richards. And so it's kind of a scary moment. If there's an opportunity to go get a guy, I would do that. Teams don't cut good offensive linemen. They just don't. And so if they are available, they're probably over 40 years old, Jason Peters. So that's typically what happens there. So anyways, let's get before we go back to the call, let's get one of the text line questions here. Jeff in North Carolina, he says, why 6 receivers? Likely to only see 4 and maybe Turpin on a jet sweep. That comes down to, they wanted to keep Jalen Brooks. That you keep 5 usually, and then because you need 5 or so, and Turpin's a little different, but you need him because he can play receiver and also he's a returner. He is your returner, and then after that, it's who do you want to keep? It's not 6 receivers. It's the 6th receiver versus the 5th linebacker or whatever. And at the end of the day, they wanted to keep Jalen Brooks. He probably will wear a ball cap most of the season. He may not be active a lot, but they liked what they saw. They liked him. You're going to see in a Deep Blue documentary we're putting out later this week called War Stories 2. You're going to see some talk on when they drafted Deuce Vaughn. It's probably my favorite story of the 10 that we're putting out there. But they were trying to draft Jalen Brooks in the 6th round. And even in the 5th, they kept talking about him. So they really liked him a lot, and he showed out at training camp. And he's developing, and they don't want to let him go. So that's really why. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Brian in El Paso. Brian, what's up?
Hey, Nick. Just wanted to say thanks for great follow that you are on Twitter.
Thank
you.
My
brother and I love that you give us, some feedback when we do give you some questions on there. But my question for you here is, can you kind of talk me off the ledge? I'm a little nervous with the situation of, I know your stance with playing starters in the preseason, but I feel like I just hope that the Cowboys, I know they aren't, but I hope they aren't looking past the Giants as a tough matchup on week 1, especially in New York. So I just want to, I'll hang up and I'll listen to your answer on that one. I appreciate you taking my call.
Yeah, I've changed my tune over the years on this, and it happened in Seattle when Tony Romo was crunched over there and got hurt, and I understand what it led to, and it led to Dak coming in there, and he was ready to go, ready to roll, but getting anybody injured in a preseason game to me just isn't worth it. It's just not to me. Now, is Kansas City more ready to play because Patrick Mahomes got a few series here? I just don't think so. I don't think that they're more ready to play. I just think the risk reward isn't there as much. And also, you think about 2 weeks is between the last game and the first game. So anything that you got in that last game or the second to last game, you're still going to be 2 to 3 weeks before the start of the season. So rust can come back into play there. Nobody's overlooking the Giants. No one's overlooking anybody. Any road game on Sunday Night Football, you'd be stupid to overlook them. The Giants, they're a playoff team. They weren't on the Cowboys level as far as I was concerned. And both of those games that Dallas won, I thought they were clearly better. Let's see if the Giants have added some players there. Let's see if they've gotten better and they're going to be ready to go. And that's going to be a big-time game to start the season. So no one's looking past them. But I will say this. Go back and look at the first month of the season the last few years. This team is ready to play. They lost to the Bucs. This was one of the worst games I've seen last year. They went back and won 5 in a row after that. The year before, same type of situation where they also lost to the Bucs, and I believe they won either 4 or 5 in a row as well. They haven't had losing seasons in September in a while. It's usually 3-1. 2-2 maybe, but mostly 3-1. Whatever they're doing, they are ready to play in the first month of the season. They've got themselves ready to go. So I don't know. Please, I'll talk you off the ledge regardless. You don't need to be on the ledge of anything. But I think this team will be ready to go. Number 11 is ready to go. And he hasn't been blocked in 2023 at all. So, I mean, he should get you excited about anybody because he's going to be screaming off the edge there in the Meadowlands on September the 10th. Let's go back to the phone lines. All right, again, Nick, you got to be you're probably going to bring a great question, I would imagine.
Hey, man, thanks for the call. It's actually, I've been listening to y'all for years. This is my first time on the phone line.
Where are you from?
I'm from Texas. I live in South Austin. Actually, a little nervous. Never been on the phone line before. So
man, you're good. You're good. Appreciate the call. You know, it's been a very Texas or Southwest region calls. I've got San Antonio, El Paso, New Mexico, Austin, Stanford. I mean, we're all over the region here. So, what do you got?
Well, the thing is, I'm really impressed with our rookie class this year, Deuce, and I was really impressed with him. I'm really bummed out about Overshown. I guess my concern is about probably our linebacker and O-line. But I think with this new offense that we're going to run, that we're going to probably be okay with that because we're getting the ball out a lot quicker. Dak's not having to just sit back and hold it as long. My question is, boy, there's a lot of questions I could have.
You got a lot of questions?
What do you think Parsons is going to do this year?
Yeah, Mike, I think he's going to be, like I said just now, I think he's going to be outstanding, and I appreciate the call. Thank you so much, Nick, from South Austin. Again, this has been just a Texas-sized number of calls and also a region of calls. I think Mike is going to be battling for Defensive Player of the Year. I think that the key is going to be the players around him. Can the other guys, because every week, there are offensive coordinators going to stay up all night long for 6 days in a row trying to figure out how to stop Micah Parsons. But that's going to leave somebody else open. It's going to be somebody else available to make plays. Dorrance Armstrong, Tank, Leighton Vander Esch. I mean, and then, of course, the guys you got in the middle. Don't forget Sam Williams, Dante Fowler. So these other guys are going to have opportunities to make plays if they do contain Micah Parsons. And like I said, I just haven't seen it so far. Your first question about the rookies, I agree. The rookie class is still strong, even without Overshown. Another text line question, Fabian from Lewisville, Texas. Which rookie that made the 53 do you expect to have the biggest impact for the Cowboys in 2023? Deuce is an obvious candidate for that. I think he's going to have a role. I don't know if he'll play as much. The guy that will probably play the most snaps, maybe you recognize it as much, maybe you don't, but it could be Schoonmaker because I think what he provides at the tight end position, I think he will eventually get himself into one of the top two guys, probably with Ferguson. I think he'll play a lot. So I think Schoonmaker is a guy. You haven't heard a ton from him. He's been injured some. He'll play well. I think Deuce will have a role. Mozzie's going to get in there. He's going to play well. I'm trying to think of some other the other draft picks, but I Overshown obviously banged up there. Junior Fihoko, maybe not even active right away. They're so deep in the defensive line. They're keeping him, but at the same time, it's going to be tough. Eric Scott, it's going to be tough for him to make contributions, especially with Jordan Lewis now on the 53 and expected to play. Maybe not week one, but in the first couple of weeks. So I go with Deuce having a role, Mozzie, and also Schoonmaker. I think those three guys will probably be the most from an impact standpoint. All right, I think the phone lines are clear right now. Usually we're in overtime right now a little bit. That's okay. We can roll a little bit. We have some questions as long as if Chris Beam's all right over there, we're good. We're ready to roll. All right. I got another question from Lincoln, Texas. This is an international show. I promise you. International. You can call from anywhere. You can text from anywhere, from in the nation, in the world. But right now, we were keeping it right here in Texas, which is fine. It's a big state. We got a lot of good stuff here. All right, Tom from Lincoln, Texas. What's the latest on Donovan Wilson? Literally haven't heard anything since his injury. Thank you. Good show. Great show, he says. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, Donovan Wilson. Calf injury. Can speak from experience here. Not easy to recover from. especially if you're a non-athlete like myself. But as an athlete and with some world-class training and athletic trainers that they have, I think he'll be fine. This is, when a guy gets hurt in training camp, the goal is September the 10th, week 1. That's the goal. I mean, get ready to play in that game. Not return then, but get ready to ramp up to play in that game. It's the only thing that matters. It goes back to the question about preseason and all that. It's the only thing they care about is get this guy ready to go by them. You haven't heard a lot from him because they're slowly getting him back in. I've seen him a little bit on the cords out there. He's working his way back in. Hasn't returned to practice officially. We still have 10 days or so before the first game, so I think he'll be fine. At least that's what I would imagine. He's had enough time to recover. He has not returned to practice, but he should be back and ready to go. A question here from Chad from Auburn, New York. Here we go. We're getting up to the other place where the Cowboys are actually going to play their first game up in New York. Chad up there says, "What's going on with Dorrance Armstrong? Have not heard anything about him all summer. Banged up a little bit. I believe hamstring injury for him. He's been in and out of practice some. Again, he's at that level. You're not going to see him in the preseason. They're excited about what he can do. This is a contract year for him. I don't think there's any issues with him long term missing any time. I think he's going to play. So wouldn't expect anything different. Now, and he's one of those guys you want him to practice because those guys need to move around too. I say it all the time. If Micah's moving, these other guys are moving too. If he's going from left side to right side, that means Dorrance is going from right to left or Tank or whatever. So practice is so important throughout the week because when they install the game plan and say, all right, this is what we're going to do with Micah, this is what we're going to do with Leighton, this is what we're going to do with these guys, everybody's got to be on the same page. It's not like Zach Martin missing all week and then just coming right back and playing right guard. The defensive scheme is different, and I do think that it matters for them to be there in practice. So hopefully Dorrance and Donovan Wilson can get themselves back into practice sooner than later. All right, this is Nick in Long Island, New York. I mean, Texas and New York. That's all we got right now. That's all we need, really. What number? Oh, this is a tough one, man. I'll have this one for you. What number will Deuce wear? What number do you think he should wear? Oh, God. I mean, he should wear 2 or 22. I mean, that's what he should wear, okay, because his name's Deuce. I'm sorry, Emmett. I'm sorry, but I'm just saying that's what he should wear. I'm not saying give it to him, but, number 2, which is Jordan Lewis's number 22, that's what a guy named Deuce should wear. That's what he wore in college, all that. But I'm not suggesting that they give that, and it doesn't matter if I am, because I know Mike McCord, the longtime equipment manager over there, he would rather be in a fist fight than to give up number 22, especially to a running back. Not happening. What number should he wear? He's probably going to wear 42. I think he's going to stick with that. 43 was a number that's been talked about. They didn't want to give it to him because of Sproles. They thought maybe just don't put the pressure on him. Now Lipke's made the team. I don't know if Lipke's moving. We'll find all these jersey numbers are going to be, they're moving. There's a domino effect, all right? They cut Kelvin Joseph. He's number 1. A lot of guys want that number. Brandon Aubrey was number 1. I think they're going to move him to a different, maybe one in the teens. And then it's just going to be a domino effect. The guy's going to want that. Whoever gets number 1, and his number's open. And so that's a crazy thing. I don't have that one for you, and it'll probably be Thursday or Friday before the dust settles on the roster, and most importantly, the numbers. But I can tell you some people that are really waiting on pins and needles about it, and that's the people in the pro shop, because they want to know exactly what number that Deuce Vaughn is going to wear, because there will be some jerseys printed out. He's a fan favorite already, and why not? He makes plays. He's the same height as a lot of fans. I'm just saying people can relate to him. And here's a guy that you want to root for. He's just an outstanding person. Comes from a great family. Worked so hard. He's earned everything he's got. And like I said before, War Stories 2. Documentary on Deep Blue. It's our 4th one. It comes out tomorrow night. The trailer should be hitting here in 30 minutes or so on the website. You'll see a trailer for it. We got 10 stories. Deuce is one of them. So we're really excited about that. And that'll just lead me to another thing that I want to say. I might break my arm patting myself in the back and our team here. But this week we really we kicked ass. I mean, there's no other way to say it. I mean, we racked up with the Emmy Awards. I mean, the Lone Star Emmys. We won 11 categories. 25 people or so were able to bring home a trophy. Some people, like myself, I brought home 1. Other people brought home 7. But I mean, either way, we had some guys guys and girls that did great work. Our documentary from last year, 24/7 coverage with Trayvon Diggs and Everson Walls, is still my favorite that I've ever been a part of. Tied with Cold Shoulder, because Chris Beam and I worked on that, and he's listening right now. I don't want him to fight me. That's a tie, but no, those really were my favorite ones, and I love Emmett. I'm not trying to give his number away. So, but we're excited to win. I was able to get an Emmy for that one, and we had so many more. I mean, we had some great work, guys that really worked so hard and were able to be rewarded. So excited about that, and it keeps us going, keeps us striving for more, which is what we continue to do, and it's what we did today. 10 minutes of overtime. I think we're good there. We're probably we'll stop it at that point. Got great questions on the text line. Didn't get all of them, but the phone, man, we asked for some calls. I tweeted it out. I said, I'm calling on the callers, and you guys came through, and really appreciate it. This is what this show is. It's gonna thrive on the callers. I love talking to you guys. And is it my guy Gary from New Mexico is putting down the challenge now. We're gonna do a little trivia back and forth, and that's something I want to do. I want callers to come in, give me a random guy, random cowboy. There's probably a great story related with that, and it also brings back some great memories of over the years and names that sometimes you forget about. So, but yeah, you know what, we got a phone line that's calling. We're not gonna hang up on anybody. We're gonna take one more call here. We got to wait. All right. Oh, we're gonna say hello. That's what happens. I'm gonna talk to the guy. All right, Cowboys Storyline. This is Nick. You're live. What's up?
Hey, Nick Eatman. This is George Carrasco, Gilbert, Arizona.
What is up, man? How are you?
Pretty good. Long-time follower from you, man. Valley Ranch days. I used to read all your stuff.
Okay, appreciate it. Hope you still do. You still read it. You still read the stuff, right?
Oh, of course.
Okay, all right. You made it sound like it was past. All right. What do you got, man? You're the last caller of the show, so close it out for us.
I'll take it. Okay, what, in your opinion, what kind of Dak do we need to succeed? Do we need the rookie, I guess what people would say the bus driver, Dak this year to get us over the hump, or do we need aggressive, putting up 400 yards and throwing the ball everywhere? Which one is going to be successful for this team? I'll listen to you.
Okay.
So thank you for taking my call.
I'm always that guy that's going to. I'm sorry. I'm that guy. Okay. You give me 2 options. I'm asking for a third, and I'm going to tweak your two. Your 2 choices there, because I think there's somewhere in between. We don't need the guy to put up 400 yards passing. That's not what you need all the time. You want to have the ability to do it if there is a shootout. Bus driver, I don't hate the term. Bus driver, to me, I'm fine with that. There's times, like I've said, there's times you need to just drive down a school zone and go 20 miles an hour. There's sometimes you have to take the kids to a game and you get on the HOV lane and you're going 70 miles. That's it. The number one goal for a bus driver is to not hit a kid. Okay, that's what a bus driver is supposed to do. Don't hit anyone. Okay, same with football. Don't turn the ball over. Don't make mistakes. Don't do that. Not to say those are the same, but you know what I mean. Just play with me on the analogy. But so be safe with the football and be smart in your decisions. So to me, Dak Prescott needs to be like the guy he was at Mississippi State and the guy he was early in his career with the Cowboys. Run when it's there. Don't be afraid. Don't think about contracts. Don't think about the injury you had against the Giants. Don't think about that stuff. Be a football player that plays quarterback. Not a quarterback trying to be one of the top quarterbacks in the league and all that. Be a football player. If you're a football player that goes out and does that, diving, flipping over the end zone and all that in Arizona, doing those things like you did a few years ago, if you're that guy, that's what the Cowboys need. Be smart when it's time to be smart. Be aggressive when it's time to be aggressive. Just be a football player that plays quarterback. If he's that, I think the Cowboys are good enough to win. All right, that is all the time we have for you here. We went over. We appreciate that. Great calls, great texts. By far my favorite show that I've been doing, here in this month and a half that we've been doing the Storyline. This was outstanding. This was what I envisioned, and I really appreciate it. Can't wait to do it again Friday. It's going to be at 11 o'clock Friday, different time. And then once we get to next week, It is going to be the same time every day, 10 o'clock a.m. Central Time. So I understand that the different times kind of change things up a little bit, but can't wait to get started. We got one more show this week, Friday at 11. I want to hear from you guys, and we will see you then on Cowboys Storyline.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!